We're gonna get into the off-ball spot ups, corner sitters, or maybe even wing type players and bigs. Right now, I'm gonna have Sora giving y'all the rankings for more of an off-ball role, especially for y'all bigs and corner spot ups or corner scorers. So to start us off, Mini Magician Sora, where do you think it lands?
I personally feel that Mini Magician, in the off-ball sense, that's a badge I feel goes into the S tier. I think that the mid-range game is so important because of how, not only because of how much 2K buffed it, but you could see the effects that getting into that mid-range, stacking up your badges, getting your green machine going. If you're in Rise, yeah, you get access to heat check. You hit a couple of those shots in a row. It forces the defense to be more honest when you play like that. So I feel that Mini Magician is a S tier badge. One of the best badges in the game.
Yeah, you know me, I completely agree that mid-range is probably the best way, easiest way to score in this game. I say it in every single video about scoring, especially off the ball. They're not prepared for you to create, especially from the corner, sometimes even the wing. They're expecting that drive. You get to that elbow spot, pull up, it's just money is wide open. So yeah, I agree. Open looks.
That badge there, I think, I'm not going to put it in S tier, I'm going to put it in A tier. I feel that when you play off the ball, you're more likely to get contested because people are more likely to be sticking with you. If you're going in playing one like by yourself in the wreck, your man's most likely not going to be just running off of you if you're sitting and spotting up. So you might see a couple of different badges pop up, but not nearly as much as open looks will.
Even in the comp setting too, right? Because the corners aren't going to be dropping as far off. That's actually a really interesting take on it.
The badge is amazing. It's very useful. I just feel that it's so situational when you're off the ball.
Yeah, because as a corner or a spot up, you're still expected to hit those lightly contested shots, you know, the 6%, 5%. So yeah, like I said, that's a really interesting take. I low-key might actually agree with you on that point, because like I said, in the comp setting, they're not rotating off as much, and if they do rotate, they're going to have that wing dropping down to the corner or the top rotating to the wing, where they're going to still get that contest on you. So even if your mid-range is high to get it to a 90 and Open Looks Hall of Fame, it might not trigger as much. And with the other badges that we have available to us, Open Looks might not be the most important ones. Yeah, that's a good take right there.
Yeah, see, like that badge, for me, in my playstyle, I have to depend on you for me to be able to use that badge. You have to hit me at the exact moment that somebody is either rotating off of me or just leaves me open.
Wow, that's actually, yo, can't lie to you, that is a great take. Listen, drop a comment on what you think about Open Looks being A tier, and if you actually disagree with him. But me personally, he might have convinced me. All right, moving on. Blinders, off the ball.
All right, blinders, going right back to that example that I just gave, I'm gonna actually put blinders in the S tier. I feel that I see this badge activate way more than I do see Open Looks, and because of that, I'm seeing those boosts consistently. It allows me to hit some pretty insane shots. So for that, and in the playstyle, I go into the mid-range, one dribble, pull up, whatever, catch a shoot, whatever. It doesn't matter. If they're on the side of you, that badge is going to activate this year.
Yeah, like I said like a couple minutes ago, in scenarios where you think that I might pop up, blinders is actually the badge that applies to that situation, especially in the corner on the wing where they're trying to make rotations, trying to help off. They're contesting from the side. So as a catch and shoot player, or even off the one or two dribbles, blinders is the badge you want rather than Deadeye in those situations. So I agree with you completely. Blinders S tier. Now speaking of Deadeye, talk to us.
I'm going to put Deadeye in the A tier with Open Looks. Just because, like you said, and one thing I find typically, actually, most times you see builds, sometimes they have their blinders higher than their Deadeye, meaning blinders is actually activating more.
Quick tip, blinders, you get a Hall of Fame at a 97 mid-range, I believe it is, and Deadeye is 98. So it's harder to get Deadeye at a higher level. But go on, you were saying that blinders activates more?
I feel that you see blinders activate more, and not only are you able to get it at higher levels, they activate on the same shots. They stack. So you're getting a small boost. You might, depending on where you have your ratings, you might have silver Deadeye, gold blinders. Yes, they stack, but you're getting a smaller boost from that Deadeye. And if you're playing off the ball, somebody they're probably not going to be directly in front of you. Usually they're a little bit off to the side.
So basically what you're saying is the amount of times it activates is why you can't put it at S tier, because blinder activates way more than that I would.
Precisely.
Respect to that. Nah, listen, I can't disagree, especially as an off-ball player. Even when I told you with my spot finder badge, if I'm dexing left to right, that means my defender isn't closing out in front of me. He's closing out at the sides of me. So I need that blinders a little bit higher than I need that dead eye. Off the catch and shoot shots, obviously. Okay, so moving on. Corner specialist, I have my opinion, but you know what? Talk to me.
Okay, speaking from this perspective, corner specialist to me, I want to put that in A tier, but a low A tier, just above B, because when you're playing off the ball, you're either sitting in corner or you're going to be on the wing where it's not activating. It's a situational badge that is great to have at a high level.
You know what I'll say to that? And the reason I want to argue that it might be B or arguably C tier is because corner specialist, you need it with your 3-point rating.
Yes.
But on my bully build with the 57 3-pointer, all I have is open looks and catch and shoot, and I'm still able to hit consistent open shots with without corner specialist.
And you shoot from the top of the 3 too, so
that's my only reason, because even with a lower 3-point rating where you don't get corner specialist, the open looks and catch and shoot badge, if you have your mid-range high enough, still allows you to hit those shots consistently. So that's my argument for why I might think it's below A tier.
You know, when you put it like that, yeah, that's a high B tier badge when you put it like that. Yeah. I've yet to experiment with a build that has lower than a 76-3, which is like the bare minimum that you need for like a silver corner specialist. So with that being said, your perspective added on top of that and how badge stacking works in this game, yeah, you could drop that down to the B tier for sure.
Like you said, it's really specific. On top of that, you might not need your 3-point rating as high to hit corner shots, but it still does give you that boost. We have to acknowledge that. So it can't go below B. Comeback Kid as a spot up shooter, off-ball player. What you thinking?
Again, another very situational badge. I'm putting it in the C tier. And I say that because if we're, say for example, I'm running with you, right? And we're falling down, we fall behind in the game or whatever, and you're looking to me to score because maybe the lock is getting to you, or we're getting some stops on you, right?
Yeah.
Then in that case, yeah, I'm happy to have Comeback Kid on whatever level it's at.
Yeah.
However, like we were saying in the first half, we're not accounting for being down in the game. We're expecting to go into the game and win.
Or even just fight and be close.
Exactly. So for that, just off of the ideals that I have when I go into the game, I can't have that badge higher than the C tier, since it's just a badge that doesn't agree with how I go about playing the game. The boost is amazing. It stacks with open looks, midi magician, every other badge in the game, every other shooting badge it stacks with.
Yes. Another thing that I think that why it's a C tier, it's a little different from my other reasoning, but you're gonna get Comeback Kid on your build if you have all these other badges at a high level. So you don't need such a high rating to get this badge. So in those particular scenarios, you're still gonna have Comeback Kid apply, but you might not have gold blinders when you need gold blinders on those corner shots, those off the dexa shots. So those things are more important.
Yeah, like it's weird talking about this badge, bro.
So as a spot up, right? If you're down 7 or more, a lot of the times your point guard is going to try to play hero ball. That's a reason why I think that this badge might not be as important, just because in scenarios where you're down so much, you probably won't see the ball as much either as an off-ball player, because your best scorer or best player is going to take most of the shots.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, I'm comfortable with leaving Comeback Kid right there in that C tier.
It's a tough badge though, because like you said, it stacks with everything, but it's very, very, very specific.
Yes, I'm comfortable with leaving that there in that C tier.
Okay. Oh, 3 points as an off-ball player. Talk to me.
I'm also going to put this in the C tier. I have to, as an off-ball, I'm not going to prioritize really having super high free throw, regardless of how hard free throws are to hit this year. And I'm not hoping for a foul every single time. I'm not hoping that I get the transition takes. I'm gonna leave that to the point guard to have the high free throw. That's how I feel about it. Yes, it can come in clutch in close game, late game situations. I'm not banking on that though. I'm hoping that as an off-ball player, when I get the ball, I have a wide open shot, and that's it. That's all there is to it. I have to knock it down.
You know, I agree with that, right? Because mainly you want your 1 or 2 guard getting the ball in late game scenarios because they're gonna have the highest free throw. But it's C tier because it's not completely useless. You do still need bronze, silver free points. What is it, 70 or 80 something free throw rating?
Yes.
Yeah, so
81 for silver. 80 for silver.
Yeah, so you still need that 81 for silver free throw, or at the lowest, I think it's like 70, 71 for bronze free points.
Yeah, 71 for bronze.
You still need that as a player on this game, just to be able to hit those shots if it comes down to it. But most likely you're not getting the ball in those scenarios where you have to take free throws. They're gonna foul you. You rely on your other teammates, you trust them. And for me, as a point guard perspective, I'm willing to take on that burden of putting that up so that my other builds could get those defensive ratings, get everything else. So as an off-ball player, you shouldn't prioritize it as much, but you still need, I guess, the bare minimum.
I agree 100%.
Now, one of my favorite badges, man. Catch and shoot as an off-ball player.
Badges too. I feel that this is S tier because this is how you're going to get most of your points. This is how most of your shots are going to come in the catch and shoot. Your point guard dots you in the corner, you have to shoot it if you're wide open. Point guard dots you when you're on the wing, you gotta shoot it if you're wide open. That's the nature of this badge, the way that this game is. It's stacking with open looks. It can stack with blinders. It can stack with dead eye, stack with corner specialists. It's a very versatile badge to have.
Yeah, and as a point guard passing, there's nothing better than having a shooter ready at all times, because this is the easiest shot on the game. Me dribbling, the defense rotating, helping whatever it is, pinching, I pass, my shooter is ready to literally catch and shoot like the badge says. Gives you that boost. And like I said, even with the lower three-pointer, you just need mid-range for this badge. You're still going to be able to hit. That's why I think it's S tier, because all you need is mid-range to shoot threes because you have catch and shoot Hall of Fame. S tier without a doubt. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Agent 3.
I've been looking forward to talking about this one. I'm gonna put this one in the low A tier for the exact same reasoning that I just gave for catch and shoot.
So question for you before you start. Low-key, maybe we could do an order for this, right? Because we have the A tier ones. Would you put it before Deadeye or after Deadeye?
I put it before Deadeye.
Now explain.
So what I'm thinking of is a situation where when I catch the ball, so say you throw that corner dot, somebody's in front of me, right? What I like to do, this is a playstyle specific thing for me. What I like to do is go do one dribble to the one side, behind the back, I'm back in the corner.
That's the money.
And I'm able to pull that. So, but I'm always hoping that when you throw the ball my way, I'm able to just catch and shoot. It's a good badge to have in case that you need it. In these cases that you need it. And I only have it on bronze and it's very effective.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Actually, like I knew you had the 76, what is it, 76 for bronze Agent 3?
Yeah.
I actually knew you had a lower three-pointer, but it never clicked with me that you're still doing that one dribble behind the back, only with bronze. I have to point out though, right? A lot of off-ball players don't even have that ball handling requirement to do that move out the corner to get that space and shoot that Agent 3.
So for people that don't have the ball handle, I would say that this is probably a D tier badge because you're not able to even create that space if you're just catch and run with the ball, because you're going to get a slow launch. You can't go behind the back. There's no way for you to misdirect the person that's guarding you if they're right in front of you. You're passing the ball back to the guard. If it's a late clock situation, you're putting it up regardless of their position. Build specifically, off ball, how about I compromise? I'll drop it to a B tier with corner specialist.
I was just going to say that. You know why? Off the ball includes a 2-guard throughout the 5. So the 5 might not rely on Agent 3 as much. Keep that in mind if you're a big man in this game, right? As a big man, you might not rely on Agent 3 as much. But from the forward perspective or 2-guard perspective, this badge is very valuable. So it can't go in C or D tier because you still need to be able to create, like you said, those 1 dribble, 2 dribble situations and then shoot that 3. That opens up the game so much for your team. Even if you're running with randoms, now your defender has to respect you. He's going to play extra high. Now you could drive off that. Opens up a whole lot of your game. So that's why I think that it's B tier from the 2 through 4 maybe, right? Because even some power forwards might be able to dribble a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Once you have, I feel, above like a 70 ball handle, that badge that's when you move this badge into the A tier. Anything below that, yeah, you're going to leave that B tier, not hoping to put the ball on the ground and create for yourself. 70
ball handle. Why do you say that? Is there any specific animation you can recommend?
Is it 70 or 75? I think it's 75 when you unlock all the pro animations.
You heard it here first. 75, the sweet spot. That's when Agent 3 becomes more of an A tier badge. But we both agree, B tier. We compromise, man. That's what it's all about. Moving on though, guard up.
This is a tough one.
I felt that same way.
Because I'm thinking the badge is amazing. But I'm thinking, how many times am I really going to see that badge pop up? It's not very often. It's more or less when I go for that one dribble pull up and the guy slides in front of me a little bit before he's able to get his hand up. Or a late shot clock situation. Again, I get this ball, I just have to put it up right away. The dude's right in front of me, he doesn't put a hand up. Those are the times when I'm seeing that badge pop up the most. This might be another B tier, just because of those situations. Like I said, you're playing off the ball, you're mostly hoping to get a wide open look. So
yeah, I understand that.
To bank on a badge that says, hey, there's a defender here, but he's just not playing defense right now. He doesn't have a hand up. So that's how I feel. It's very situational. It's a great badge when it activates, but you have to have it activate in those particular situations. That's it.
It's like, it's a quote unquote bailout badge, right?
Yes. If that's perfect. That's the perfect analogy. This is the bailout of the shooting badges. That's perfect.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially out the corner off the wing. You're not planning to shoot contested shots because your role is to take open shots. The point guard creates for the most part and then gets you an open shot. But in the scenarios where you're getting late clock situations or they expect you to create, it's a good badge to have in the back. Ooh, interesting one. And I know you haven't really tested this badge out as much. Limitless range as a spot up.
I feel that this is a very build dependent badge. Because you have to have a certain build to even have this badge.
Yeah, that's so true. That is very true. This is mainly for 1 and 2 guards. Let's be clear here.
So because of that, this is like a high B, low A, I would say.
So here's what I'll do for you. I'll put it low A.
Yeah.
I just have to, because from my 2 guards and shooting guards out there, you're going to get so many open catch and shoot shots that if you could space it out even the tiniest bit with limitless range, it'll do so much for you. But like he's about to say, as a corner player or big man spot up, it's a lot different.
And this is something I'm unsure of. Does it stack with catch and shoot?
Yes, it does.
It does? Okay. So that alone, yeah, that's a low A for sure. Because a lot of the times when you're playing off the ball, you're going to be spotted up right by the line. It's worth, like, if this is a 3-point specific badge, you're spotted up right by the line. In competitive settings, that's when you typically see people take a few steps back from the line to be able to activate this badge.
I think that's why I put it A tier, because if you're trying to play in more competitive setting, the spacing on the court matters so much more. So that's why I said I can't see it below A, because of that alone as a 2 guard. But we have to be respectful of people who play rec and all that.
100%.
Oh man. By the way, yeah, this is his favorite badge in the game. I'm gonna put it here before he puts it there.
Space Creator is one hell of a badge for the builds that are able to put the ball on the floor. Even without, I think, depending on the hop jumper animations that you have equipped, you could still create crazy amounts of space with Space Creator. If you were, say, for example, running down in fast break, your guy's right next to you. If you're coming down on the wing, right, you can hop jumper right to the corner, and leave your guy in the dust.
Trust me, I've seen it in person. It looks crazy. Yeah, he had a defender talking to the fans.
But I can't put it in S tier just because if we're talking shooting threes, it's not a very consistent badge. It's not a consistent shot, I should say.
Fair enough. I agree with that.
So I would put that. Yeah, I'm happy with that below limitless. I'm happy with that below limitless for sure.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Playing with the corner, and I know in the comp scene it's not as frequent, but on the lower levels in a sense, playing with the corner who knows how to get a shot, create a space, like the wing whisperer himself, you see how much shots they can create, how much space they can create. Literally, like the badge says, off doing their step backs, their spin jumpers. So when they have that in between game, it opens up so much more that they're able to create 1 dribble step back to the 3, 1 dribble step back to the mid range. That's why a badge like this is so valuable, because when your corner can score, and a lot of you guys make builds that are not guards and you still want to be able to create, that's just the reality. Is everybody wants to make a build that they want to have fun on, especially if they're a forward. You're going to go into the random rec and you still want to be able to score. Space Creator is one of those badges that you can replicate quote unquote actual basketball with, and it's still viable. You're still going to hit a lot of mid-range shots consistently with this badge equipped. What would you recommend the badge level be for this?
I would strongly recommend this badge at the gold level for anybody that's off the ball. That's if you can get to an 88 mid-range. So however high you can get it there. If you have sub 88 mid-range or 86 3-ball, then silver will work just fine.
So silver minimum if you're one of those people who makes a forward who wants to score. Because I have to acknowledge the off-ball players, especially in the rec, who want the ball and want to be able to create. Those people are what makes the game really different. It's a big part of the community. Not everybody plays stage or plays pro-am. So for you listening, get that space creator silver so you're able to open up the game and make the game easier for your teammates. Because once your defender has to respect every aspect of your game, it's going to make passing and playmaking so easy for you. And if you've watched my videos, you're going to know how to make reads as a guard. Yeah, with all that included, bro, I have to put Space Creator A. I have to agree with him right there.
Okay, now we got Spot Finder.
Spot Finder.
This badge here, I personally feel it's a high B tier. Only because when you're playing off the ball, I would say I put it above guard up.
Okay, fair enough.
Above guard up, below agent. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I would actually say like if there could be like another tier, like Agent 3 and Spot Finder, like they're the same. Like they're in the same spot.
You would really put them between A and B.
Yeah, but since that's not there, I'm comfortable with having it there. Yeah, Spot Finder, it's a great badge when you get it to activate. It's just oftentimes when you're off the ball, you're just standing still. The only times you really activate Spot Finder is if you're cutting or you're trying to get to another spot that's also away from the basket, right?
You know the weird part about this badge, bro? I don't necessarily think it's the badge itself, but they introduced this badge to introduce the animation of tapping R2 and running fast. Yes,
100%.
I think
it's a different mechanic, like with the blowout dribbles and all that being added.
Exactly.
So it's just a quick way to get some separation and get a quick little additional boost to your shot or dunk attempt, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and the reason why I might agree with you off the ball a little bit in B tier is because you have to acknowledge the fact, like I've been saying this whole time, you have centers and power forwards who just literally spot up in the corner. You're not using Spot Finder to get a corner shot, but if you're on the wing, you might use Spot Finder to Dex or Rat. So it's still useful, still viable, but not the most important. So I do agree it's B tier. Green Machine. Oh man.
Green Machine to me is a high A tier badge. Because like we talked about in the first half, you could put that above open looks, honestly. Put that above open looks.
Above open looks? Oh man.
Because you don't need open looks to have Green Machine active. When this badge is working, it is the best badge in the game. Hands down.
Agreed. You heard it here first.
But because there are those games like we talked about where you just miss everything, it becomes situational.
Exactly.
So for that reason, I'm putting in the high A tier. Amazing badge. It's probably at this point one of the longest tenured badges in 2K, period.
That's a fact. It's one of the ones that just stood the test of time, bro.
It doesn't go away. So for those reasons, Green Machine has to remain at a high A tier for me.
Yeah, I do agree. We spoke about it in the on-ball guard, like primary ball handler type situations. It's just so tough that you have those games where you can't hit anything, but that's just what 2K24 is. They try to implement a more quote-unquote realistic percentage feel to it. So I just can't get myself to put an S tier because of those games. Even as an off-ball catch and shoot shooter, 80 3-pointer, 96 3-pointer, you're still gonna have games where you're missing and Green Machine is just useless. Or a badge like Midi Magician, if you get to that mid-range, no matter what game you're playing, it will still be viable. There's no prerequisite for it. Okay, slippery off ball.
Okay, to me, this badge is a high B tier because I'm thinking of, okay, you call a cut for me, or my point guard calls a cut for me, or I'm just trying to roll around on the 3-point line, right? If anybody's in my way, I'm running around them. It doesn't matter. At the silver level, it gets you right around people all the time.
Would you put it above Spot Finder?
They kind of go hand in hand in the similar way that I had.
Let's make them neighbors, man. Let's make them neighbors.
Yeah. So I would say that those two badges were on a similar tier of importance and effectiveness in this game. Slippery off ball just allows you to run right around people playing you off the ball. I see it happen all the time. It happens to me all the time. It's a great badge. Tremendous badge. It does exactly what it says. You're slippery off the ball.
It's a great badge for fake cuts, by the way. Especially when that defender is playing that off-ball corner sitter, wing sitter really tightly. Slippery off ball makes them like worm around them. Then the defender has to overcommit. It's just so wide open. You don't even need spot finder. That's low-key why I put it above it. Because you could just hold R2 the entire time, fake the cut, and walk back, and you're wide open. Alright, for our last two now, starting off, let's go with post fade phenom as an off-ball player.
Alright. To me, this badge is I'd put this badge above 3 points.
Next to
I'd probably put, I'd probably leave it there just because I don't feel that this badge is very useful if you don't have it at least gold. And to get gold, you need to have it 75 post control and a 79 mid range. So because of that steep investment, it's only a badge that you can really take advantage of if you are, I would say, probably 6'8" and above.
Yeah.
And have some strength on your ability. You're able to push your defender around. It's just, there's too many factors that go into it. I love using this badge because I play on 6'8", 6'9" builds all the time. But somebody, for example, somebody that's on a 6'6" guard, for some reason trying to go into the post, you don't have any post control, this isn't a badge that you can even have access to.
Or even just a regular pick and popper. They're not really focused on they might get unpluckable like bronze, right? This badge is very playstyle specific. You have to be going for it, bronze, silver, gold, wherever it is, for this badge to be useful, and then up the tier on it.
Exactly.
That's why I low-key agree with you.
So for those reasons, it's for people that play that way, this is probably a low A tier badge. But for people that don't have, but there's a lot of people that play off the ball that don't even put post control into their builds.
Exactly.
So for that reason, I'm putting it in that middle of the C tier.
Yeah, like I said, I agree. It's too specific to be B or plus. But for those people who do have that playstyle, it is worth that low A tier badge-ish level. But yeah, too specific to put it B plus, just because again, you have the 2 guards, the 3 guards, who are not going into the post at all. So yeah, have to put it C for now. Again, drop a comment if you disagree or agree with any of these rankings, and we'll have a discussion. I'm open to whatever y'all saying, whatever y'all opinions is. That's just who we are at JP. And last but not least, keep in mind, 2 through 5, Claymore.
I probably put this badge, I'd put it next to in between Open Looks and Green Machine in the A tier. Oftentimes, as an off-ball player, you are standing still and you're waiting for the ball to come your way. So, well, I mean, you go into a random wreck, you just see guys cutting all the time, but the boost that this badge provides is great. It's a huge boost. It stacks with damn near every other badge, excluding Agent 3 and Midi Magician. It's
one of those badges where as a spot up especially, speaking from a point guard's perspective, if I'm not calling cuts or wraps or plays, knowing I can create, and then when that help pinches off or rotates, my guy's in the exact spot I need him to be, Claymore, they're standing still for 3 seconds or more, they get that boost, it's just gonna be money. Especially like you said, in the random wreck, where so many people are cutting, drawing attention. If you're that guy in the corner who's standing still while the wing cuts, you'll notice how many times both defenders off the wing and corner drop down. If the point guard could make a read, and I know that's if, that badge is going to be so great for you, and even better if you have a team. That's why I do agree with your A ranking on that.
Yeah, so as an off-ball player, I can't say that there's a shooting badge in this game that's completely obsolete, which is what I would leave that deep tier open, at least at this point in the game. If there's patches that come out and suddenly post-fade phenom is now just not even consistent, that badge probably drops down to D tier or something like that.
Yeah.
But I can't say that there's any badge as an off-ball player that is completely useless. Every badge is good, it has its uses.
Yeah, I agree. As an off-ball player, every single badge has a role. So none of them are D tier, none of them are useless. 3 points, post-fade phenom, comeback kid are just specific or not as needed. And then obviously you have your S tier, mini magician, blinders, catch and shoot. Those create the most opportunities for your team as an off-ball player. And then the in-between is more of a playstyle specific versus general perspective. So yeah, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed. We actually went really in depth with this badge ranking. So again, drop a comment on what y'all disagree or agree with. I'm open to having the discussion in the comments. But yeah, y'all, as usual, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Peace. How you can't tell time but you watch face? You're not on real time if you watch fake.